Hi there, just a little update on our brooder box and our baby chicks. Again, we have 5 little chicks. They are almost 2 weeks old now. I will move this lamp so you can kind of see them. They're starting to get lots of feathers and tail feathers and definitely starting to kind of move around more and kind of try and fly a little bit, stretch those wings out. As you saw, we're still using a heat lamp and a brooder plate as well, because here in Wisconsin our nights are still kind of cold in the 40s and some days a little colder. They're doing really well with that. For the most part, they're pretty much just laying outside of the lamp's direct light, so it's not too hot for them. We already have started moving the lamp up a little bit just to cool that temperature down a little bit, since they are almost 2 weeks old. They're doing really well. We have them in the garage here, if I didn't mention that before. I did just clean out the brooder box this morning. Got out all the icky shavings and everything and put in new fresh shavings. They seem to be liking that, obviously. They're kind of getting themselves a little, I guess, dust bath in the shavings. We're using this method that I saw in a different YouTube video. It was this screen that was stapled onto some pieces of wood to put the food and water elevated on, so it definitely does seem to keep out the shavings out of the food and water. Keeps it a little bit cleaner, a lot easier to take care of and maintain. I did put this little perch piece of wood in here. They sit on it here and there. It's a little bit wide, I think, for them, but just give them an extra, different opportunity, somewhere to sit. But other than that, they kind of just sit around and lay around. They're doing really well. We do have, so the brooder box that we created here is, we used a little kiddie pool, as you can see, and with some cardboard boxes around it. This side that I'm on is a little bit lower than the other side, just so it's easier to get in and out of and clean up. But I do put this other piece of cardboard up that kind of raises the sides so they can't actually get out if they wanted to. But at some point I'm going to end up taping that up so it's more secured, and it's definitely higher for them. But I think we have a little bit of time before they're actually able to try and escape. But they're doing extremely well, and in a couple weeks we'll see how things are going. If they do start to get out of this, we'll probably move them to the coop outside and just keep them in there, and maybe with a heat source out there still, depending on the temperature. We'll play it by ear, but we just want to make sure they are secured. But we will follow up again in another week, see how they're doing, see how they're growing. They're progressively growing so much over these almost 2 weeks now. I can't even believe it. But I've only had to deal with pasty butt just in the first week for a little bit with them. But I have read that the probiotics in the water do help keep that down, and we have been doing the probiotics in the water since we first got them. And if that's helping, awesome. If it's not making a difference, don't know. But I've heard a lot of people have issues with pasty butt with chicks, and there's only twice that I've had to clean their butts up in the first week. This then, it's been really well. There are no issues with that. We did already put a chunk of dirt from where their run is going to be in here after earlier this week, just so they could get used to the microbes and everything in that soil, and they really seem to enjoy that and do well with it. I've heard a lot of pros and cons with giving them grit at this age. I think we're going to start doing that probably within the next week. Start bringing that in here just so they get used to it. But so far, so good. No issues. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to talking to you again. Thanks.